The Pentagon simultaneously fired two Standard Missile-6 weapons in rapid succession at a single ballistic missile target to assess new seeker technology and solidify the weapon's ability to ensure destruction of approaching enemy targets. Using an emerging active seeker technology, two SM-6 missiles were able to simultaneously track and destroy a single target, greatly improving the probability of a kill target. You now have absolute assurance of a hit no matter what the threat is doing. If the threat takes a turn and does something weird, and the first missile is unable to sense it and engage it, the second missile will, Mike Campisi, SM-6 Senior Director, Raytheon, told Scout Warrior in an interview. A statement from the Missile Defense Agency described how a Navy destroyer fired a salvo of two SM-6 Dual-1 missiles against a complex medium-range ballistic missile target, demonstrating the sea-based terminal endo-atmospheric defense capability. Previously, ship-fired interceptor weapons were not able to fire in rapid succession, one right after the other, to zero in on a target and increase the prospects for an intercept. This is because the missile relied upon ship-based illumination for targeting. The SM-6 is unique in several respects. The weapon uses what is called an active seeker, meaning it can send a signal or electromagnetic ping forward in addition to receiving them. Electromagnetic signals, which travel at the speed of light, send a signal forward before analyzing the return signal to determine the shape, size, speed, or configuration of an approaching threat. Since the speed of light is known and the time of travel is able to be determined, a computer algorithm is able to calculate the exact distance of an object. Portions of this technology are built into the SM-6 using software upgrades. An active seeker gives the missile to better attack maneuvering or moving targets at sea, because it does not need to rely upon a ship-based illuminator to bounce a signal off a target for a merely passive seeker to receive. This is the technology which allows a ship commander to fire several SM-6 missiles in more rapid succession or closer to one another in the event that a target needs to be attacked with more than one missile. A ship can illuminate or communicate with the missile, and at the same time the missile is looking at the target as well. On a pure active mode, it can go on its own, Campisi explained. Now, SM-6 active seeker technology allows the missile to use its own built-in seeker technology to navigate without needing a ship-based illuminator. We had two missiles in the air, and we wanted to make sure that we were in fact pulling in on the target and looking at target versus looking at the other missile that's in the air. Simulations all said the missile would never look at the other missile in the air, however, but it's nice to prove that. Compared with the SM-3, the ship-fired SM-6 interceptor is designed to track and destroy closer-in threats, such as a ballistic missile in the terminal phase of its descent to its target. The weapon has been established with an ability to knock out ballistic missiles approaching from the sky. More recently, the weapon has been developed for a number of new offensive missions, including surface attacks against enemy ships or defensive intercepts against anti-ship missiles closer to the surface. The SM-6 has also been capable of anti-air defense, equipped with an ability to attack or destroy enemy helicopters, drones, and other approaching threats. The weapon has now been established as a defensive, offensive, and capable of three distinct missions. They are surface warfare, anti-air warfare, and ballistic missile defense. You now have a multi-mission capability with one missile. That means that this missile could be moved at any ship at any time and have the exact same capability all three mission sets that isn't set by hardware or anything else. Campisi and naval leaders emphasize that the fast-changing threat environment means new offensive and defensive technologies need to emerge in order for the U.S. to maintain its edge over potential near-peer rivals. Along these lines, Russian and Chinese missile modernization is by no means lost on U.S. weapons developers. Ballistic missiles have been proven to be launched from any and all platforms, including mobile launches. We see it on the news. When the Russians test their gear, you see their mobile launchers. You can see that the Chinese have mobile launchers. They are fixed base sites and they are ship port sites. They can be launched in virtually any platform, Campisi said. SM-6 for surface attack. The most recent development comes on the heels of a successful test last year where an SM-6 destroyed and sank a surface ship target off the coast of Hawaii, providing additional strategic relevance for a new offensive use of a missile previously oriented toward air and ballistic missile defense. The anti-surface warfare test proved that SM-6 could attack a surface ship. It destroyed a Perry-class fast frigate. The big deal for us is that the SM-6 proved its capability with sea targets, Campisi said. In this instance, the firing of the SM-6 was designed to analyze new software configurations on the missile, giving it an ability to track and destroy targets on the surface of the water, as opposed to its typical use of hitting or intercepting incoming enemy fire from the air above a ship or near the Earth's atmosphere as a ballistic missile defense weapon. Using the SM-6 as an offensive weapon against surface targets is a new application for the Navy, bringing another kind of surface firepower to the fleet. The SM-6 is larger than the SM-3 interceptor and is designed to destroy closer-in air targets. However, this test launches the ability for the SM-6 to function in an additional capacity as an offensive weapon against a wide range of surface targets. The entire system was tested. It performed exactly as we expected, and the result more than met our expectations. We added to the sea-based terminal capability, ballistic missile defense, and anti-air defense, Campisi added. In effect, this will allow the fleet to attack ships with offensive capability and prove out the flip side of area defense, which is distributed lethality. The software adjustments to the missile allow a single SM-6 to perform all of its different functions, he explained. The system will identify a target and send a signal to the target. Based on the signal, it chooses the software path and the activities it's going to perform in engaging its mission, Campisi said. SM-6 technology. The USS John Paul Jones, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, fired the SM-6 using onboard fire control technology and Aegis radar systems equipped with the latest technology called Baseline 9. The missile's final assembly takes place at Raytheon's state-of-the-art SM-6 and SM-3 all-up round production facility at Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. An emerging Navy technology called Naval Integrated Fire Control Counter-Air, or NIFCCA, also relies upon the SM-6 to help identify, track, and destroy approaching anti-ship cruise missiles from distances beyond the horizon. The NIFCCA system, which was first deployed last year, also relies upon an airborne sensor to relay a signal from an approaching enemy target. The Navy has tested an E-2D Hawkeye surveillance plane and an F-35 as the airborne sensor able to relay targeting information. The SM-6 is configured to fire from Navy cruisers and destroyers out of a vertical launch system tube. Although there's not yet a ship deck mounted launcher for the missile, it appears conceivable that the Navy could explore an option along these lines. This would enable the weapon to fire from a wider range of ships, such as the littoral combat ship, frigates, amphibious assault ships, or even aircraft carriers. The development of this weapon, along with other missiles and emerging offensive and defensive technologies, is entirely consistent with the Navy's distributed lethality strategy. This ongoing effort aims to better arm ships with next-generation communications technology and cutting-edge, longer-range offensive and defensive weapons. This is informed by a series of key concepts, such as efforts to better enable surface ships to conduct open or blue water combat against a near-peer adversary, sustain the Navy's global technological edge, hold enemies at risk from farther distances, and allow surface ships to both aggregate and distribute or disperse as needed as a way to reduce the prospect of a successful enemy attack.